Tonight on Airtel Touching Lives, we demystify cerebral palsy, a neurological disorder that affects a child's movement and muscle coordination. Touching lives. We meet Comfort and single mother Labake. Comfort was born with cerebral palsy 6 years ago.
It's difficult to look after a child with the cerebral palsy because it's like taking care of 5 children at the same time. They can't feed themselves, they can't say when they want to eat themselves, they can't do anything themselves.
Labake is facing an uphill battle, completing her university degree and looking after her daughter.
I wanna touch your life, I wanna be the change. I'm gonna shine my light, I'm gonna make a difference. Touch your life, be the change. Shine my light and make a difference. You're the one to make the world a much better place. You're the one, you're the one, touching lives.
Hello, Nigeria, and welcome to Airtel Touching Lives. My name is Wana, and just like Airtel, I'm committed to making a difference and transforming lives. Now, despite cerebral palsy being a fairly common neurological condition, there is still a lot of mystery around it. What causes it? Is there a cure? Can it be treated? These are some of the questions we'll be trying to answer tonight on the program. Our first story is about a young mother who is trying to balance university life and raising her daughter who has cerebral palsy.
Touching lives.
My daughter is this loving person. Apart from the fact that I'm a mom, her smile, she's always smiling no matter what. Even sometimes when she has not eaten, she's smiling. And you just wonder that, I'm not even bothered. She's smiling because I'm around her. I felt pregnant first at my first year in university. It affected me badly, even my university and my private life.
When we discovered that Labake was pregnant, we were highly disappointed in her.
I myself wasn't really happy, but I didn't really have much choice. I told my father first. He was very angry because he always wanted us to make sure we finish school before any other thing. So it wasn't easy at all.
And the way people will be looking at her, not even her, us, because they will be thinking maybe we've allowed her to do so many things, and people say so many things out of what they don't know about.
Ìjẹ́ sí Làbákẹ́ ní pé èmi ni àbú, èmi ni ẹ̀gbọ́n ìyá ẹ̀, èmi ni ìyá ẹ̀ gbé lẹ́fun, ìyá ẹ̀ dẹ̀ kú ní oṣù mẹ́fà ìmọ̀tọ́ Làbákẹ́. Nítorí pé mo ké pé kò yẹ kó tí nù mí báyìí kó tí mo problem tó àti gbogbo bá jù mí tó ti di ipò ní oyún. Nígbà tó ń tẹ́tí gbogbo èèyàn sọ mi pé tó gbòòrò káwọn lémi léjì káyé pé kí n má bàa jẹ́ pé kí fi ilẹ̀ pé Ọlọ́run á sọ ní ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà. Pé tó bá ti sọ ní ayọ̀ àti àlàáfíà pé a lè padà lọ school mi ni owó náà mi ní owó lọ́wọ́ Ọlọ́run ni gbogbo àjọ ń bẹ.
P.S. Oluwasefunmi, she was born on the 16th of November, but she was born with jaundice. But we were never told, so we were discharged the second day. We went home. So one of my aunts came visiting. She's a nurse. So she told me that the way she's looking at P.S. that she has jaundice. Then we started treating her. And we felt everything had fallen back into place. But as at 6 months, she wasn't doing what she's supposed to do. She wasn't sitting upright, her neck wasn't stable yet. But we felt, okay, maybe she's just developing in a slow way. And as at 1 year, she couldn't walk. She doesn't stand on her foot. She stood most time on her toe, and that's with support. She couldn't do anything on her own. There was no form of independence at 1 year. So when we took her to see a neurologist at the Lagos State Teaching Hospital, he then diagnosed her with cerebral palsy. But he said hers is mild, that on a rate scale of 1 to 5, that she's on number 3. It's difficult to look after a child with the cerebral palsy because it's like taking care of 5 children at the same time. They can't feed themselves, they can't say when they want to eat themselves, they can't do anything themselves. Being there 24/7, you can't leave them alone for any minute. The father of the child, up till now, is still staying with his mom. He doesn't have a job.
Ọkọ Làbákẹ́ ó ń wá iye tó bá ní ó mú wá nígbà tó yá kò mú wá mọ́ kò wá mọ́ ó kọ̀ wá ń wá tó bá kọ̀ wó kọ̀ máa lọ ni òun bò ni òfin máa wá ni òfin wá nígbà iṣẹ́ kò sí gbogbo nǹkan kò dọ́gba nǹkan tó fi wá nìyẹn lẹ́yìn kó kọ̀ wá kó kọ̀ kí wá kó kọ̀ wọ ọmọ yẹn kó máa lọ ní tiẹ̀ ni.
My mother-in-law, she had to Google, had to read. Sometimes she even go online to read about them. That's how she got to learn. And then my mom, sometimes when I want to drop her for some few minutes, because most of the time we're at her mother-in-law's place, so I just tell her, okay, don't do this, use her medications for her and do this for her. Put on your shoes now. Why are you stretching your leg? In order to help my daughter, I need to help myself first. I need to complete my education.
Ọlọ́run ó ṣe ká má lè pọ́ lọ́wọ́ mo ṣe owó pọ̀ nílẹ̀ kò sówó lọ́wọ́ ẹnì kíní kò sówó lọ́wọ́ ẹnì kejì mi àti ọkọ àṣà ń sáré à ń ṣe sọ́ọ̀tún à ń ṣe sósì à ń jù síra wa tó yẹ kó gangan nígbà tó kọ́ lọ skúlù nígbà tó yà ní kó dá skúlù dúró lọ skúlù yẹn mọ́ nígbà tó ní change díẹ̀ lọ ló yàtọ̀ tó wá lọ skúlù padà sí ó fi dín pósẹ̀ máa jáde ní 2018.
Right now, I'm studying political science. It's very difficult to be a mother and a student because you have to put the child's life first, responsibility, anything she needs before yours. So whatever you're doing has to be on hold. The challenges that going to school with a child with cerebral palsy is that unlike a normal child that you can ask your friends to hold for a while or just put her in a daycare, a child with cerebral palsy can't go through that because most of them don't know what cerebral palsy is itself and they don't know how to handle the child. So they tend to want to give excuses. So you end up carrying out classes yourself, home and back. Moving a child with cerebral palsy around is very difficult because as at the last time I checked her weight, she was weighing 12 kg. When you're going everywhere with a public bus, it's also not easy because you have to jump. You don't enter bus gently here. You jump into bus, then you're carrying your own bag. You're carrying her own bag. So my hands are filled and my back.
Difficult ọmọ Làbákẹ́. Ìmọ̀ mi ní pé tó bá jí ó máa wà happy. Inú mi máa ń dùn ìgbọ́n tó bá ti ń wo tó bá sówó lọ́wọ́ ẹ̀ tí ò sówó tó di pé gbogbo ilé dry ipò kò sẹ́ni tó máa rí ó fẹ́ la oògùn fọ́mọ kò sówó tó máa fi oògùn kò sówó tó pé hospital tá máa mọ́mọ́ lọ kò sówó kò ní happy everybody kò ní happy kì í ṣòwò nìkan everybody kò ní happy rárá.
I make money from anything available, from everything and anything available. I do any kind of job, legal job. I usher at parties. I make barbecue and small chops at parties. I buy and sell, you know, like festive period. I might just think, what's in vogue right now? What are people really, really into right now? And I just look for a certain money, even if I tend to lend sometimes. I get them, I sell, the profit is mine, then I return the money back. So we just use that for the meantime.
The most important thing is for Làbákẹ́ to finish her education and for the daughter also to be able to work and be able to play with some of her peer groups. So my dream for her is just for the daughter to just be able to work like us and for her to have a wonderful, good and sound education.
Ìmọ̀ tí fẹ́ fún wọn ní pé k'Ọlọ́run dúró tì wọ́n kó pàdé ìmọ̀ fún àwọn ọmọ tí fẹ́ wí fún ní pé k'Ọlọ́run gbàdúrà wọn kó pàdé aláàánú tó máa ràn wọ́n lọ́wọ́ tó bá bí ọmọ Làbákẹ́ yìí.
If I don't get help as soon as possible with her, I think my 4th year is at risk because there's no way I'll be able to concentrate, do my research for my final year with her, being a single mom and being a student at the same time. There's really no way I think I can work both of them together at the same time.
What I love and respect about Làbákẹ́ is her refusal to give up on herself and most importantly, her daughter. Join the conversation on social media and you can interact with us. The website is www.airteltouchinglives.com. Coming up after the break, we talk to cerebral palsy expert Dr. Sam Amoye, and we hear from Labake about the challenges of raising a child with the condition.
Touching lives.
Welcome back. Cerebral palsy is caused by brain damage while a child is still developing. But to help us uncover all of this, we of course have Dr. Sam with us, and we also have Labake. Welcome to the program. Thank you guys for being here, and thank you so much for sharing your story with us. You will be inspiring millions of Nigerians watching this program by just sharing your story and everything that's happened to you. The first thing I guess I just want to throw to you is, how did it feel the moment, the diagnosis came through that she had cerebral palsy?
The moment she was diagnosed with cerebral palsy, at that moment, you just have the grammar being spoken to you. You don't know what it means at all yet until you start going through it. When I was told, I was scared. But all I needed to do was to tell myself, okay, you can do it. No matter what, it could be worse than this. So just thank God and move on. So I just decided to continue like that.
Because I know you still go to school at the same time and still have to look after your child. But
yes.
And that balance must be very difficult. But how have you stayed positive? Because I just saw you smiling throughout the video. Every time you talk about her, you're constantly smiling. How do you stay positive throughout all of this?
I really don't know, because there's sometimes I sit alone in the corner or even in the middle of the night and I'm very, very, very sad about the whole thing. But what I know, one thing I am sure of is that just looking at her, she's my joy, she's my source of inspiration, so I can't just abandon her. So looking at her alone and knowing that she belongs to me and my mom, I think that's all that just drives me and makes me forget about any difficulties I'm going through.
Dr. Sam, let's go to the beginning. What is the cause of cerebral palsy?
Cerebral palsy, like you said earlier, it's a disorder of posture and movement. So most times it manifests with difficulty in a child moving or having the right posture. It's usually as a result of an insult, which is a permanent insult to a developing brain. So it has to happen at the time when the baby's brain is developing, which maximally is the first 2, some would say 3 years of life. So usually any insult at that time, to the brain of that child could result in cerebral palsy.
So is there any specific type of damage, brain damage, that leads to cerebral palsy? Because I assume that there are also young children who have some kind of brain damage, but it might not lead to cerebral palsy. So
exactly. There are times when a child could have a neurologic sequelae, which is like a brain sequelae from an injury, but may not necessarily be cerebral palsy. Cerebral palsy is specific in the terms that it has to do with posture and it has to do with movement. So that's what differentiates cerebral palsy from other types of brain abnormalities, and there are various causes.
Can children improve, or is it always going to be something where they regress?
Well, the beautiful thing about cerebral palsy is that even though the insult is like a permanent one, is like, a non-progressive one, they can improve with a lot of help and a lot of intervention. These children can do so well. It all depends on how much is available to them.
So what treatment is available to children with cerebral palsy right here in Nigeria?
Over the years, there's a lot that has been introduced. Right now, at least we have access to physiotherapy. We have access to speech therapy. I'm also quite certain that there's some occupational therapies coming up, and there's some special education centers that also try to train this type of children also coming up. But we really do have a long way to go in terms of offering the maximal amount of care to these children.
What other things do we need in Nigeria to get to a place where a child can actually thrive and progress regardless of living with cerebral palsy?
In fact, that's fantastic. In fact, this is one beautiful thing that we can do, getting the word out there. A lot of people don't know that it's actually something that most times can be prevented. So getting the word out there in the first place will help us to prevent it. But if it does happen, early detection and early treatment goes a long way, stimulating the child. So in terms of braces, in terms of support devices, even wheelchairs and canes and things like that will go a long way in helping these children achieve independence right from an early age. And then even hearing, devices, things that will assist with hearing, with sight, those type of things will be very welcome, in caring for this type of children.
Dr. Sam, what's your advice to parents out there and mothers especially, who are raising children with cerebral palsy?
The first thing is, it's not a death sentence. These children should not be abandoned, because that's what a lot of people do. They take them to villages and just drop them off somewhere. There's a lot that can be done. Some of them, with enough stimulation, can achieve a high level of independence. It all depends on how much the mothers, the parents, and the community is willing to support that child. So I say that cerebral palsy is, yes, there's no cure, but it can be managed, and it can be managed effectively.
Thank you so much
You're
for
welcome.
all the information and teaching us so much as well. When we come back, Airtel Touching Lives will be giving Labake some hope for the future. Welcome back. Today, we've been talking about cerebral palsy, a neurological condition that affects movement. And our guest, Labake, is here with us, but we also have another guest with us, the young and beautiful Comfort. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is the happiest child I've ever seen. She's so beautiful. When we're talking about cerebral palsy or any kind of difficulty as well, we can't remove the financial implication. And I want you to talk about that. Just tell me what the cost implication has been for you looking after your child, trying to go to school at the same time.
It's very expensive because the child needs to go through different therapy in a day. The major and important ones are the speech therapy, for physiotherapy and occupational therapy, and you have to pay for them. As at the time she was 2 years old, I learned that there are different types of special center. We were able to enroll her for speech and physio and occupational therapy, so which cost 180,000 naira per term. So after that, we couldn't afford that again. Apart from the physiotherapy, they are special children. You can't feed them what other children would eat. So her particularly, she's just learning how to chew. She's still on diaper at 5 years old. She still uses bib because she's just learning how to swallow very well. I don't think if you notice, she still chews a little bit. So you have to take your time in feeding her. And now in Nigeria, time is money. So when you're feeding her and it's already taking 2 hours, you're already thinking of, all the things you could have done in 2 hours. But you have no choice. You have to feed her. So there's a lot of things. Then her shoes. She can't wear just any type of shoes. Any shoe you want to wear for her, it must come with a medial wedge. This thing that is always in the shoe that helps the foot comes up. A lot of things.
What is your dream for her?
For Shay?
Yeah.
To be sincere, when other parents are talking, they'll be like, I want my child to be a doctor. I want my child to be a lawyer. I don't even have all those dreams. My dreams is just for her to be independent, be able to take care of herself. Right now, that's what's going on in my head. Because, sometimes it just, with a lot of things happening, I don't know if you've heard now, a lot of accidents. And one happened in my presence last 2 weeks, and I was like, God, it could have been me. And the first thing I'm thinking about is, what will happen if I'm no more there? So that's what I think of.
Well, Airtel wants to touch your life because we are Airtel Touching Lives. And we want to help you because we know that it is very, very difficult and you are just incredibly inspiring. So we cannot let you just go home or allow you just go home. The first thing Airtel wants to do for you is make that dream a reality about her independence by providing a paid support for her at a special center for 2 years. So she will get the therapy she needs, get the kind of learning that she needs so that she can become more independent.
Okay, thank you very much. Did you hear that? You're going back to school. She doesn't like school, don't mind that. The exercise and everything, she doesn't like it at all. So she's not...
What do you think that's going to do for her?
A lot. a lot because according to her specialist, when a child doesn't do therapy regularly, she tends to go back, For a while when we were doing it, she could carry a spoon or do a lot of things, but for a while we stopped, so she relapsed back again. So it's continuous. Once you stop, she too will stop. But when you continue, so Airtel wants to help her for 2 years. That will go a long way.
And we're not stopping there as well. So we know, as I said, we know that financially it's very demanding for you. You have to go to school and you still have to earn money to buy all those things, diapers, food, the kinds of shoes she needs, the kind of clothes she needs. So they're going to set up a provision store for you.
Wow. Oh, thank you very, very much. I don't even think thank you is enough. I'm about to cry. Let me just hold it together. Let me just hold it together.
No, you don't have to. It's okay. As I say, always say, express yourself.
Thank you very, very much, Airtel.
How do you think that's going to help you?
I wasn't even expecting this much, so my brain is still trying to process it. So thank you very much. Say thank you to her and Airtel. Say thank you. What are you looking at?
Well, thank you so much for coming on the program and sharing your story with us and just being brave and courageous. You are definitely the example of love and support. So we completely admire you, and I know that millions of Nigerians watching feel the same way as well.
Thank you very, very much. Won't you say thank you? Say thank you now.
Thank you so much to our guest and our doctor for coming on the program today. As the doctor said, cerebral palsy is not a death sentence. It's all about getting informed and making sure that you can support those who are around you. Until next time, goodbye and God bless. We look back at a story from season 1. Young poet Blessing Danladi and her mother Rhoda from Abuja. We report back on how Airtel support has aided this young girl's chance of a better future. And we meet Emmanuel Ochibo from Suleja in Niger State. In 2011, this father of 7 suffered a stroke and their lives changed forever.
Right now, we live inside the school. When money was no more coming, I begged the school authority to help me. There is a building there.
The roof leaks, and he has to repair it.
Now that comfort will be looked after, it's going to be way easy for me to finish my education and face my projects in school.
I wanna touch your life. I wanna be the change. I'm gonna shine my